know the why human trafficking work is needed: to fight for the freedom of modern-day slaves. But love, passion, commitment isn't all you need to be an effective and successful anti-trafficking advocate. Learn the how. I'm Dr. Celia Williamson, Director of the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute at the University of Toledo. Welcome to the Emancipation Nation podcast, where I'll provide you with the latest and best methods, policy, and practice discussed by experienced experts in the field so that you can cut through the noise, save time, and be about the work of saving lives. Okay, hey, let's get started. What's up, Lisa?
Everything's pretty good.
Everything's good here. Been working away on the case management course.
I know. I've been working with you on it. It's all we've been doing.
I know. This is my way of letting people know that, wait for it, it is finished. And I am so happy it's finished. Well, I mean, we have a little bit of some final touches to put on it, but we're really ready to run some students through it. It's going to be the first course we do on human trafficking, effective case management with human trafficking victims. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And you know how this started, right?
Actually, no, I don't. How it started for me is I just know my life became consumed with it.
Yeah. Well, it started with me because I just started getting so frustrated and about how case management is done sometimes with survivors. And I thought, if I'm so frustrated, why don't I develop a course? I mean, I've had years of experience as a case manager with survivors, then as a case management supervisor. So, I know there's a lot that goes into it. And I think people just kind of engage with survivors, and that's good. But, being able to be effective in your case management work, that's the part that I really am hopefully bringing to the table. So I know in the course, I put a lot in. I mean, it's a 12-week course, so I put a lot into the course, and people really have to make a commitment when they take the course. But they're going to learn everything from the roles and responsibilities of a case manager to the values and ethics. They're going to learn about theories, and I know everybody hates theories, but really theories that are really useful, like everyday theories that can just help you understand what might be happening in somebody's life. They're going to learn about the 7 steps to working with somebody, from engagement all the way through how to assess, what to look for, the intervention, some of the intervention techniques, all the way to evaluating and then gradually disengaging as somebody begins to pick up their own power and, no longer has the need for somebody to walk beside them because they're empowered. They have moved from victim to survivor and even perhaps thriver. So I'm just really excited. I think, case managers, people who are case managers are like, well, I already know how to be a case manager. And yeah, a lot of it's the same, but it's just the ingredients are different. Like the bowl's the same, the process might be the same, but the ingredients and what you emphasize might be a little different.
The guide we finished is really good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it's over 200 pages. Well, at least I would say over 100 pages single spaced. But it's going to be really mapped out week by week by week, so it's not going to be overdone.
Right. It's not intimidating. It's very user friendly, like easy to read because it's in those like small bite-sized chunks.
That's right. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So if you want to be effective, then it's going to take some learning. It's going to take about 12 weeks is what we put together. And again, the name of the course is Effective Case Management with Human Trafficking Survivors. So You notice the title isn't some work with human trafficking survivors or
Right.
doing a little something with human trafficking survivors, but it's effective work with human trafficking survivors. So I'm putting my 30 years experience as a social worker, a case manager, someone who's worked with survivors, and somebody who knows the literature into the course. And I'm very proud of it. And I think it's going to be extremely helpful to people who are really committed to this work, and who want to do good work with trafficking survivors.
Now, not just anyone can take it, right? Or can anyone take it?
No, so far you have to have a bachelor's degree in social work or nursing or women and gender studies or family studies, psychology, human development, anything that sort of gives you that base of human development or just understanding certain is humanities, or I don't know, but you have that kind of background that helps you understand human behavior. Oh. And I really prefer somebody with that kind of educational background, and then maybe I might look later at expanding it, but right now, yeah, bachelor's degree.
Okay. And if we're going to go down this path, why don't we or how you tell the audience when they can register, how much it's going to cost, and maybe touch on the commitment they're going to have to make, all of that.
That's right. This is our commercial,
right?
For this course. Well, the course is going to open officially March 1st. So I think that's a good starting date. It's going to run again for 12 weeks. And we're going to interact weekly live for the first session, but people are going to get a lesson every single week. They're going to do some reading, watch some videos, do some self-reflection. So it should take, an hour and a half out of your time each week. Each session, we're going to end with some self-reflection, maybe a quiz over the material, just to make sure that you indeed got the material. Then you can come in and talk live, ask questions or whatever. The course is going to start out $549 initially, because I really want to get some feedback from people in the course. So I'm making it pretty cheap, and I'm going to limit the number of people that can take the course at that price. And then definitely after the first course runs, definitely going to set it at the price that it should be.
I love the self-reflection aspect of it. It's really where growth happens. It's where people, retain the information and lessons that are being taught. Are there going to be any CEUs available, or what else?
Yeah, I'm working on getting CEUs, so I'm not sure about that. If I do get CEUs, it'll be for social workers, because I think that'll be fairly easy for me to get, but I want to eventually get CEUs for chemical dependency, maybe clinical counseling, those types of things. So, and then eventually get it accredited. Right now, I'm going to be providing a certificate so that people who are case managers will be able to present that certificate to employers or whatever and say, look, I've had this really in-depth, extensive training in this area. So,
okay, awesome.
Okay, wait. I also have a free webinar that I'll be emailing out to people so that they can watch the webinar and really find out what is going to go on in the course and see if it's a good fit for them. Okay, so now I'm also excited about today's guest. I'm talking to Debbie Lassiter and Pastor Arnold about a project that they started in Wisconsin. And actually, it's gone well beyond Wisconsin. Again, born out of Debbie's frustration, like I experienced. And frustration can be powerful and sometimes a helpful emotion, because Debbie and her team thought about the notion of sex trafficking and how there's a supply of victims and a demand with customers. And she decided to really take a project and focus on the demand. So they developed their intervention, which was to challenge men. And I don't want to give it away because I want you to listen to the interview, but they were able to reach over 40,000 men. So Debbie is an OG, of course. She's been at this work for over 17 years, so she knows what she's doing. And it's an interesting message, and method they use. So let's listen to my interview with Debbie Lassiter and Pastor Arnold. Welcome to the Emancipation Nation podcast. This week we have Convergence Resource Center. They're located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Dr. Debbie Lassiter is here along with Pastor Arnold Syfax. Debbie's been involved in anti-trafficking work for over 17 years, so she's an OG at it. And she's going to talk to us about one specific program. But let me tell you, we're going to have her back because she, at her program, does on-site therapy, job readiness and placement. She has a 10-week program where she walks alongside survivors, her and her staff, by the way, who are survivors themselves, some of them. They support families and loved ones. They do on-the-job training. They offer peace boxes and SOS bags and does community training and all the things. And I know you want to know what those things are, and you're going to have to reach out to her in between, in between time to find out the details, particularly of peace boxes and SOS bags, because that just sounds really cool. Today, we're going to talk to Debbie and Pastor Arnold about the HEMAD project. So welcome, Debbie, and welcome, Pastor.
Thank you.
Hello, Celia. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here. We're really excited to share with you about HEMAD and how it started and how it can be duplicated in other places. So thank you so much for having us.
Excellent. So tell us, what does HEMAD stand for and what is it?
So HEMAD actually stands for Human Trafficking Educators with Men and Boys Against the Demand. Now, the title was actually created by men, and that is one of the keys to this project, is that you need men involved, and those men need to be put in leadership places with this project. Mm-hmm. So what HEMAD is we challenge men, and we usually start the cycle starts over like the week of Thanksgiving because it's holidays and families are starting to get together. We want men to take a visible stand against human trafficking. As you look around human trafficking organizations, you see them mostly led by women, or women are mostly the majority of the people involved. Well, in order for HEMAD to work, we believe that iron sharpens iron, that men can speak to men in a way that we can't. And so I'm not too proud to say that. I believe that to be true. And this project kind of tests that out. So what we do is we go in, we show them a very short video. First, we do a little bit of talking, training about what is human trafficking, just on a very high level so that they get a concept of what it is. And then we show them what are the things that you're doing that could be contributing to this. Then we have a very short video. The video usually is no longer than 4 minutes that they can watch. And then at the end of that video, we challenge them to take a pledge. And they actually stand there with their right hand raised, and they take that pledge to stand against human trafficking. The pledge itself was actually written by one of our former state representatives, Jason Fields. He wrote the pledge. And so men say the pledge, and then we give them wristbands that they can wear that are conversation starters. The wristband says, "I'm mad and I stand against human trafficking." So many of the men will come up to me and they'll show me their wrist and say, "I'm still wearing my band." And men will ask, "What does that mean?" That gives them the opportunity to share with another man what it is. And then we have shirts they can wear, hats they can wear, but that wristband is one, it's like a camp wristband. You put it on, you can shower with it on and all that. That has been really the conversation starter. And so the whole project, the whole premise of it is that human trafficking is a supply and demand business. The supply is limitless because there's so many people, but if there was no demand, we wouldn't need the supply. So we're educating, raising awareness, and saying to men, hey, you can take a stand against this. And you would be surprised how men have taken a stand against this. Just this year, so far, we've reached over 40,000 men. That's just since November. But we really want to go over 60,000. Yeah.
I think that is amazing. And it's so smart because it gives men a club to belong to. A membership. So when they see other men wearing that wristband, they could say, okay, you are a man of honor, like I'm a man of honor. or it's a conversation starter, like you talked about. You give them a challenge. I love that too, because people love to be challenged to do the right thing, and it personalizes it. How have you been involved? How have you contributed or played a part? And now you can play a different part. Pastor Arnold, how did you get involved in this HEMAD pledge?
Well, I have been involved with Debbie with conversions for a little while. And so when the HEMAD program actually started, it started as a campaign. And I thought, yeah, let's find out a little bit more about it. She introduced it to me. And then after, of course, finding out what it actually entails, I thought, wow, this would be really something good, not just for me, but for some of the other men that I know, including my 3 sons. So I thought, wow, this is good, because it made me, as well as others, aware, as far as men, on how we contribute without realizing, and how it can affect not only our immediate family, but cousins that are involved in these things, or just some warning signs to look for that would normally just be overlooked. And so after her giving me this overview of what it actually entailed, I thought, sure, I'll definitely be involved in that. I'm a servant. Whatever you want me to do, just let me know. And so I moved from that point to assisting in speaking and talking about it to others. And I'm going to tell you, he doesn't like to be on camera and things of that nature, but I'm going to tell you, Patrick McSweeney is a whiz in getting information out, and that's his feel. He put me out there, and he said, make sure your dance card is clear, because we're going to tell as many people as we can about this. And he wasn't kidding, because it started off as a campaign, and now it has ballooned, or should I say morphed, into a movement. So HEMAD, although we originally started off with about 3,000 men, and we weren't exactly sure if we would even get 3,000 men to do it, but they did. They took the pledge and they moved forward with it, getting churches involved and businesses and other people in the field of government involved with it. And it moved from being a campaign to a movement that's not only statewide, but also in different countries. And so it's been amazing. And so the push this year or last year was to see if we can get 60,000 men. And to date, like she stated, it's over 40,000 men that have taken this pledge and have been made aware of the importance of stopping sex trafficking. And the pledge it's a start. It's a start to understand the importance of it. But the bigger piece comes in the mindset. When you know more, you should be responsible, but that's not always the case. But when you are, pushed with all of the different avenues that it touches and all the different areas in your family, and when it becomes personal, you tend to take ownership of it and tell others about it in the midst of conversation, talking about sports. It'll pop up. Sports, the Super Bowl is coming up. So that's another piece. I kind of tell them that, well, there's a group of people that go out to the Super Bowl to help rescue some of these people that are involved in sex trafficking. And they didn't know that. And frankly, when she first told me, I didn't know that. I hadn't even thought about those things, that large venues are like going to the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like for going to the mall for the product, should I say. And like she said it before, if we can stop the demand, we can change some things. We can change some policies. We can change some mindsets. If you don't think that it's an issue or a problem, you're not thinking about it. Thus, you're not making moves to try to change anything because you don't see anything wrong. But because of the fact that it's being put pretty much in your face, the first video that we made, it was an in-your-face video. It was, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And some of the guys that I showed it to, that first video, they said, this is very uncomfortable. This makes me a little uncomfortable. And I said, that's the whole idea. We need to make people uncomfortable enough to get out and do something, to say something, to get involved, to help in changing that whole piece so that men and boys and girls are not put into position to be sold.
I love that. I hear your passion behind that. And frankly, I don't know of another program that is reaching as many men and actually changing the paradigm in terms of the ways that they think about the issue. How did you even see? I couldn't even envision, reaching perhaps 300 men. You're talking about, we didn't know if we would reach 3,000. How did you even go about getting to over 40,000 men?
Well, I'm going to tell you again, it starts with that small presentation and a great marketing person behind you, literally behind me, that keeps us on our toes and finds all kinds of areas in order to tap into, from social media to television. I mean, I must have been on about, 10 different programs just the year before, and several radio stations, just to get that word out. And it's amazing that when you begin to make it personal, because I kind of reflect on the fact that this could be my sister, my niece, my granddaughter. These are people that are close to you. And once you make it very personal, it makes a big difference. 300,000 young teens each year are pulled into human trafficking from the ages starting at about 13 years old. And when they hear that, when men hear that, they begin to make it personal and start thinking, well, wait a minute, my granddaughter's 13, or my daughter's 13, or I've got a little girl at home. And of course, it's boys and girls, but the bigger piece, it seems to be focused more on young girls. But when you start to make it personal, you want to tell others about it, just to keep them, I used to tell my kids, when you step out of the car, keep your head on swivel, depending on where you are. And now being involved in this, some of the men are making sure that they're keeping their head on swivel to make sure their young girl, young boy is aware of what's out there. The world can be wonderful, but it can also be very dangerous, and be aware.
Yeah, I love that. I used to heard it from somebody that, being male is just about anatomy, but being a boy is all about what can you do for me? But being a man is what can I do for you? And you all are demonstrating that and giving men the tools to demonstrate that. And I think Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. So I love the whole platform that you have. And Dr. Debbie, I want to ask you, what are the ways that you think men are involved, either consciously or unconsciously? How are they contributing to human trafficking, whether it's sex trafficking or labor trafficking?
Sure. One of the things I'd like to say as a segue to that, which was a great way you led into that, is that the impact that this has on survivors is amazing, because we're working around survivors all the time. When they see men standing up, because they've seen the bad side, they are so excited, and they really help with this movement as well. But a lot of things that men do, probably unconsciously, one of the biggest ones is the strip clubs. They think it's just a boys' night out. And we know that strip clubs, dancing in strip clubs, unfortunately, is like a segue right into human trafficking. And many times other things are going on in those strip clubs that shouldn't be. And the women that talk to us tell us that pretty much every strip club they ever danced, that human trafficking was going on. So I'd say the strip clubs is a big one. Of course, porn is another one, because a lot of those people are not there voluntarily. There are people who choose to be there, and we're not talking about them. None of this is about them. This is about the ones who didn't want to be there. This is about the ones who were forced or coerced or lied to get involved. And even many times, the way that they treat their girlfriends or girls in the street that they know, a lot of these things reinforce the idea that it's okay to do this. Even their reactions to certain things. As we know, in many families, human trafficking is the family business. where they really believe that the girls were born to be trafficked and the boys were born to be traffickers, and they train them in that way. But we unfortunately reinforce that, because if we see a girl being mistreated or sold, we don't think that's a big deal. But men who are being trafficked aren't being as vocal as women who are being trafficked. So there's still like a double standard we got going on there that we really need to address. Those are probably the biggest ways that I see that they contribute to it. There are a lot of ways that they do, but the strip clubs, the mindset, and pornography, those are three of the main ways that I see that people really unknowingly, because the first year when we showed them that first video and they could put together the relationship between those activities and human trafficking, we actually had men that teared up. They just were convicted that what they had been doing was contributing to that, and the language that they use, every time you're talking to a lady about something, it's always a give and take. Well, if I do this, you're going to do this for me. You're propositioning her instead of having a genuine conversation or relationship with her. So those are many of the ways I've seen it. Arnold may have some that he wants to add, but those are primarily what I see.
Would you agree, Pastor Arnold?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you've covered most of those things right there. And yeah, men do get emotional on it, even with the new video that's associated with HEMAD right now. Because again, I believe most men make it personal. And apart from that, men love challenges.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. How can people get involved and push it even further? To reach even more men? How would they get started?
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Arnold.
They get started by first going to our website. Okay, that's important. That's number one, www.conversionsresourcecenter.org. And in that site, you can go directly to HEMAD. And once you go to HEMAD, there is a video that you can watch. After watching that video, they take a pledge. And after taking that pledge, that is the beginning of that journey of joining this army of men that are looking to do something when they see something. That's one.
Convergence is CONVERGENCE, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And the website is convergenceresource.org.
Okay, we want to make sure, because you're using those $3 words, and those are big words. But so Convergence Center.
Convergence means that all of the parts work together to join together to help solve the problem, and that's where the name came from. We know it's a long word, but that's where.
But I even like your philosophy behind that, because in essence, you're saying one person, one group, one discipline can't solve the problem. It takes a village of different disciplines, of different people. And you're bringing men into the conversation in ways that they haven't been in the conversation before. And I could imagine some people getting pretty excited about this. How far, will you let them take it? Like if they said, I'm in the city of, Wichita or whatever, and I'd like to go to my church or my faith-based group or my civic group, and I'd like to show them the video, sign people up. I mean, should they have a conversation with you first, or can they just do that? Or what's the process?
Well, the way that we've put it in place is that they can just do that, and we have forms that we can send them. We have a 8.5 by 11 pledge we will send them if they'd like. The way we've designed it is that once you watch it, we want you to share it with other men. And it says that right at the end of the video, to share it with other men. And that is how we've been able to share it in 12, I think we're in 12 to 15 different states now in 3 different countries. Because in Tanzania, they just pulled all the men in their village together and showed them the video and had them take it. And they filmed it and sent it to us. And that's what we want. Film it, send it to us, put it up on our Facebook page, however you want to do it. So the pledge is available there. It's available on YouTube, and also the video and the pledge. And if they need training, if they want to do a training session, because of the COVID's wonderful influence upon the world.
Mhm.
We can virtually do that for them, or we can train their men to do it, because we want to educate them. We want them to know and understand why you're doing this, why you're doing what you're doing. So we have those things in place, and we want it to go as far as it can go. We'd love it to take the world. We'd love for it to be completely global, and we'll help them in any way that they want us to. But we've designed it so that they can do it without us and just let us know what they did, so we can include it in our information going forward.
Well, I love that you dream big, and this is a already packaged intervention that anybody can do. So if somebody's out there listening and they're thinking, I don't know how to get involved, it's going to be a big, heavy lift to get involved and do anything meaningful. This is something that you could do that's very meaningful, that is already packaged for you. All you have to do is have the desire and the commitment and gain the access wherever you can gain the access. And you can start to be a significant and meaningful part of the fight against human trafficking. So how long has this been going on, and how long do you plan on running this type of campaign?
Well, it started very small prior to that. So the biggest impact started 3 years ago. And that first year, we reached 3,000 men. And we're like, hey, we can keep going. So then we said, we're going to double it. We're going to go up to at least 6,000 men to try to double it. And then we ended up reaching, I think it was 30,000 men. So each year we want to double. So now this year our goal is 60,000 men, but we go from November to November, we're already over 41,000. So we believe we're going to hit that 60,000. How long are we going to keep doing it? As long as human trafficking exists.
I like that. And that's how we started the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Conference. We were going to do it 1 year with 300 people. And then somebody said, well, you got to do it the second year. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't know if I can handle it the second year. And then now 18 years later. So,
Wow.
Be careful what you pray for, because but I think what you're doing is so wonderful and so meaningful. And like I said, changing the perspective, changing the paradigm, opening the conversation in ways that we hadn't included men before. So I think it is so meaningful. And I am going to have my community participate as much as I'm able to get them to participate. And hopefully we can have something at the conference about HEMAD that, a little commercial or something like that to let the audience know that this exists and get a lot of people involved that way and getting their community signed up. So I'd love to be a part of that. What is the future holding for Dr. Debbie and Pastor Arnold? I'm going to ask you first, Dr. Debbie, what's the future hold for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'm too young to look at retirement, so I'll still be doing what I'm doing and hopefully making a bigger impact, helping more people. I have 2 heartthrobs in relation to human trafficking. One is to get more men to understand what you're doing and stop it, and 2, to help those women that have been involved in human trafficking to recover and move forward. I love that we care about the children, but a lot of these women were suffering before we started caring. And they're grown women, and people think they don't need help, but they're still suffering so much psychologically and in a lot of different ways. And I need to keep helping them. So that's what I'm going to still be doing in 3 to 5 years.
And I know that you've helped, you probably wouldn't say this, but I know that you've helped over 900 women significantly, but have interacted with many, many more women than that. So I agree. I think the adult women that are prostituted or involved in the commercial sex trade in some aspect, that it's harder to get funding to support them. It's harder to tell their story. Somehow people still stigmatize that population of vulnerable women, arrest them and all kinds of things. So we still have a long way to go in terms of how we see the entire issue. So I love that you are working with adult women, because that is also a part of my heart. What about you, Pastor Arnold? What will you be doing in 3 to 5 years?
Well, God willing, if I'm still here, I'm going to continue to do what he's called me to do. I've been an advocate for children and women and just people in general all my life. By being a youth director at the church, I'm planning on continuing to inspire them and teach them a little bit more about this world and the things that they have to face. And as far as being a part of Conversions Resource Center, I tell Debbie all the time, I'm a servant. I'll be here as long as you want me to be here. And if we can make an impact some way, form, or fashion by giving a talk or talking to someone or just assisting someone and moving to that next level, I'm here to do that. So in the next 3 to 5 years, God willing, again, if I'm here and around, I don't see myself ever retiring. I'll be working for the rest of my life. If we're not working in the field that God has called us to, we just retire to a different area and start working aggressively there too. But just having the passion for people to get out of bad situations is what I'll continue to try to do, get them out of bad situations, regardless of what the particular problem or issue is. I was involved with prison ministry for a long time, and this was a natural progression, I believe, to be on the other side, helping the victims in whatever way I can. I try to encourage as many people as I can as well, including those who have been trafficked or those that have been involved in this on the other side, just to try to encourage them, to let them know that life doesn't always have to be here. You don't have to have a stop sign. You can actually have a comma in your sentence. You can move on a little bit further, and you can always go a little bit higher. And that's the blessing. So that's where I'm going to be. That's the plan. That's the focus. If God's so gracious me again to be here, I'm going to continue to work in that field of moving people from where they are to where they like to be, to a more pleasant and happy place.
And you're the youth minister at the New Testament Church in Milwaukee, correct?
That is correct.
Milwaukee is very blessed to have you. And I also do want to also shout out Patrick McSweeney, because he has done wonders for your project. I've heard from him, and he's emailed me and said, hey, you got to have these people on the podcast. Like, they're doing wonderful things. So I just want to shout that out too, because, you have talented people around you, Dr. Debbie, and you are really blessed to be able to do what you do. And I hope you will take care of yourself emotionally. Your mental health stays intact, because I know it's a heavy lift and I know it's hard work that you do. So are there any parting words that you have, Dr. Debbie? Because listeners are advocates from across the U.S. and around the world, and they're trying to do good work like you are. And do you just have any parting words to help them as they continue on their daily journey in this quest to help other people?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to them for the sacrifices that they've made and for what they're going to be doing. And to say, it doesn't matter whether or not you keep getting accolades or people think you're doing a great job at something. Follow what's in your heart. Do it at a level of excellence. Stay in your lane, because when you're in your lane, that's when you're the most powerful. And you will be able to move forward. Think outside the box, because the box wasn't made for you anyway. And I'm just excited that you're out there. And if there's anything that we can do to assist you, don't hesitate to contact us.
And where can they find you?
They can find us by going to our website, which is convergenceresource.org. And when you get to the website, there's a contact us, and that will send an email directly to us, and they will forward it directly to me. Or you can call us at 414-979-0591. That's 414-979-0591.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time today. It's important information.
Thank you so much, Dr. Say, for having us. We appreciate you as well.
Okay, first of all, they offer on-site therapy.
What? And job readiness and placement.
A 10-week program that walks alongside survivors, and some of her staff are survivors.
There's support for families and loved ones.
On the job training,
Peace boxes,
SOS bags,
community training,
and now HEMAD.
Hey, that was a good rap song. I feel like we just freestyled that.
I know. I know. And I love HEMAD. What does it stand for again?
Oh, same. I think the H, it begins with, it's an acronym, Human Trafficking Educators, working with men and boys to stand against the demand. But I just think, girl, he is mad. He is so mad.
I know. I love the urban spin that they have on it. I don't know if that was intentional, but I feel the same. Girl, he mad. He is so mad. Because really, if men are the caretakers of society and they love women and children, they protect other vulnerable men, then they should be mad. And they should take the pledge and be invited to take action. And I love the pledge because it helps men become a bigger piece of something like they talked about. So when you know more, you do more, and you take ownership of it. The truth is, you may believe that you're responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think. I didn't say that. Marianne Williamson said that. And it cuts to the heart of what HEMAD is doing.
Let's not just do something, let's do the best thing. If you like this episode of Emancipation Nation, please subscribe and I'll send you the weekly podcast. Until then, the fight continues.